why we want to use a TIFF image is because a TIFF image is what's called a lossless format. JPEGs are lossy. What that means is a JPEG is really, really common, right? So a lot of people use JPEGs. If you take a picture, you put it on the internet, you send it out. It's common because you can take large photos and save them as small file formats. And it does it through a method called compression. Here's my very simple, oversimple, hand-waving explanation of what compression does to a picture. If I take a picture of a landscape, all right, so I've got some green grass down here, and I've got the blue sky up here. It may be a high-resolution image, lots of pixels, but in a JPEG, it would say, okay, you've got blue at the top, light blue, mid blue, dark blue. You've got green at the bottom, light green, dark green, everything in between, right? It could save every single pixel and exactly what the color is. That would take a lot of memory to do that. So a JPEG says, okay, I'm going to say everything that's blue, I'm only going to save 3 values of blue, light, medium, and dark. And it's all going to be one solid color. Automatically, you just say, hey, that block up there is the sky, it's going to be blue, and it saves a lot of memory. You don't have to remember every single pixel. You just say, these shades of blue, right up here, that's the sky. These shades of green, tints of green, down here. Make sense? And so usually, JPEGs are a lot smaller quality. If you ever saved a JPEG, usually one of the dialog boxes that comes up, it says you want to adjust the image quality of the JPEG. Have you ever noticed that? That's what you're adjusting, how much detail of the JPEG. But in doing this, it loses some data. That's what's called lossy. TIFF format, and I just lost everybody, TIFF format doesn't lose that data. It keeps every single bit of pixels that are on there. It also saves things like layers, it saves text, it saves paths if you have them as well. And so usually a printer wants that high quality image, wants all the data, and a TIFF is the preferred format to be able to do that. Cool? That's why we're going to practice saving things as TIFFs. CMYK color mode, that's just good for being able to print as well. All right, let me reconnect to y'all and show you how to do this. It's not a difficult process. It is a little bit tedious, but it's the kind of thing that once you get into the mode of doing it, it should become part of your design process as well. All right, 7 computers. Are they going to connect? Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Let's try again. There we go. Okay, so let's say I have my page layout already done. I've got my images nice and linked up. There's 2 ways I can do it. The easiest way is going to be this first method. Before I package my file, before I do anything else to it, I'm going to open up each of the images in Photoshop. Notice I'm missing a link there, but I'll just get one that's already linked. What's a quick way of opening in Photoshop? This image?
Huh? Select the image and right-click it.
Right-click it, right or control-click it. It'll pop open. We do Edit With, and then we choose Photoshop, and it should open up. There we go. Photoshop from here. Give it just a second. There we go. This is one that I actually did last class period, so I'm going to choose another one. This one. Right-click it. Sorry about that. Edit With, Photoshop. I can tell it was one that I'd done before. Here's why. I can look at the top, I can see it's a JPEG, and I can also see it's an RGB color mode. The other one was already converted over. To save this as a CMYK, if you don't remember, you can go to Image, Mode, and then change to CMYK color mode. It will give you a warning saying, hey, are you sure you want to do this? We'll say okay to that. Looks the same, but now you can see at the top it's been changed over as well. The second thing I need to do is to do a Save As, File, Save As, and change the format of it from JPEG to a TIFF. There it is from there. I'm going to keep the name exactly the same. You'll see why in just a second. Do Save. Here's my options. Notice the image compression. I've set it at none. You can compress a TIFF, but in general we'll keep it at none, and we won't have to change anything else from here. We'll say OK. So now I've got a such and such TIFF, got a CMYK, and I can close it out. And jump back into InDesign. Now this image here, it's supposed to update. Did it update? Is this the new CMYK image? It's not. Why is it not? Got to relink it. It saved a copy of what I did. Now I've got a JPEG, which is what this is, and I've got the TIFF as well. Once you do that, relink it. Command D to drop it in. If you know where you saved it at, it's actually pretty easy to find this. In my case, I believe it's in here. Oh, maybe not. If you can't find it, if you don't know where it's at, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a search for that image. I know what that image is. I've got it selected here. Here it is in my links. I was using 0011 JPEG. So I'm going to do a search for that number. Command D, do a search for 0011.jpg. Oops. There's the JPEG. Let's see if I can do a TIFF, T-I-F. Bingo. There's that one. I can actually see it's saved in this photo as well. We'll say open. Looks a little bit different, but it's been replaced right now. It should look almost exactly the same. You'll do that for each one that you open. Make sense? Everybody, did I lose anybody on that? Need to see it again? Real simple. The point is you're saving it as a TIFF, opening it, and then relinking it. I told you this would be the kind of thing you would maybe want to do at the beginning before you choose the pictures that you use. This way you don't have to go back through and redo it. You can open them all up at one time and then resave it from there. Let me show you the difference between the two. Let me see if I can actually find those photos. Under Photographer, Pete, let's go into List View. Aha! So there's the TIFF. Check out how big that TIFF is. 6 megabytes. Whereas the other JPEGs are usually less than a megabyte themselves. You know, the biggest ones are just now pushing 3 megabytes, anything like this. Definitely not all the way up to 6 megabytes. The reason why is because the TIFF has no compression to it. These are saving data a lot. And so that's why JPEG is often more commonly used. All right, when I'm finished, I do need to package this up, and here comes the tricky bit. You can go to File and Package. Why do we package?
I mean, it gets it ready for the printers. It puts all the materials in
Good.
there.
Yeah, exactly. It puts everything together. My fonts and my pictures. We'll save it. I'm not going to worry about the instructions. I never really read that. I'll call this Photo Spread 2 because I've got another one already on there. It's going to collect my graphics and my fonts. It's also going to save a PDF version for me. And I've got it set to the smallest file size automatically. So that is one thing that I'm looking for. I'm going to hit Package. And I know it's missing some stuff. Just say OK till it goes. We'll let it package up. Here's the issue that Mr. Ivy didn't realize in doing all of this. It's going to get all of my pictures. It's going to save the PDF in the old version. Yeah, good. Go away. Here it is. So here's my folder, and here's my links. Right now, this folder is, if I had to compress it, would be about 65 megabytes. That is a huge file. And especially if I save everything as TIFFs, it's going to get even bigger. So what I need to do is, I need to get rid of my images. Here's what I want you to do when you turn yours in. You've made your package. Open up your links folder and get rid of all of the TIFFs or JPEGs that have been saved. Now you will have a front page that'll be a Photoshop document, right? That'll be collected as well. I didn't have mine saved on this one. But keep that Photoshop document. Get rid of everything else. You can drag them to the trash, just drag them out of your folder, and get rid of those. When you get rid of your links, it'll bring it down to a significantly smaller file size. The reason why I'm asking you to do this is because I'll have them saved on my computer anyway. When I open up your file, I'll just relink it to my pictures. That way you don't have to send them over twice. And it doesn't take forever to download. Once you're done, this is what you'll do. Right-click or control-click and zip up that file. And there it is here. This zip is what you will upload to Moodle once you're finished. Cool? I've written the instructions on the board just so you can say. After you package it, remove the TIFF images from the links folder. Keep the Photoshop file. If you don't have the Photoshop file, that's part of your exercise grade. If it's not in there, you can't get credit for it. Cool? And then you'll compress it and upload it from there. The rest of the day is just a work day. If you want me to critique or look at your work, you're welcome to do that as well.